Point number 19, modern people are overly complacent and lack vigilance when it comes to defending their own freedoms from government overreach. This is connected to the previous point, and I believe that much of what is going on and much of what was happening in years prior to this is just based on people being too comfortable. We've been comfortable for such a long time that we are taking our freedoms, our rights for granted. We have to understand that every single generation has to fight for freedom again. Freedom, like I said before, is not necessarily the human default. Every generation is going to have to fight for freedom in another way because society always tilts towards authoritarianism. You always have to stay vigilant and you always have to fight it. So lesson number 19, understand that history is still occurring. If you look back at the past 100 years, you can see all the madness, all the millions of people killed, all the horrible stuff that has happened all around the world. And it's quite unpleasant to say this. Don't assume that that can't happen again. We are still living through history. Okay, so everything that has happened in the past, understand that it is possible for it to happen again. And it's up to each individual in this room, each individual in your country, each individual in the world to prevent that from happening again. And point number 20, it's easier to fool a person than to convince them that they have been fooled. This is a quote commonly attributed to Mark Twain. It's never actually been proven whether or not he specifically said this himself. But due to sunk cost fallacy, ego protection, cognitive dissonance, and other cognitive errors, people don't like to admit when they have been duped or when they've simply been wrong. So lesson number 20, nobody likes being wrong, but if you are proven to be so, it's better to take the short-term pain and ego hit than it is to barrel off of a cliff. And last one, this is a real quick bonus thought, is most people are fairly compassionate and do have good intentions. As a result, many people deeply struggle to understand that some people, including our leaders, can have malicious or perverse incentives. So in closing, I hope I've been able to give you some good food for thought here. The world is in absolutely desperate need of clear thinkers, perhaps now more than ever. None of us are totally immune to cognitive errors and making mistakes, absolutely not, but let's strive to make less of them individually and collectively because our future could depend on it. Thank you for listening. Happy to take your questions.